Fatherland videos. Tonight, we have a mythology from Guatemala, the Inca people. We've read several mythologies from around the world. To be specific, 3 from Native America or Mesoamerica about love between the sun and the moon. And we read one from South Africa about the sun and the moon. Let's see what today's Inca mythology has to say about the relationship between the sun and the moon. Tonight's mythology read is coming from the book Mesoamerican Mythology, produced by Captivating History. We're here on page 81. How the sun and moon became man and wife. Long, long ago, when the world was new, there was an old man who lived alone with his only daughter. The daughter was very beautiful, and she was very skilled and industrious. She knew how to spin and weave. She knew how to sew. She knew how to keep a good garden and how to cook delicious food. She looked after her father very well, and he looked after her, and together they were very happy. One day, the son happened to see the old man's daughter, who was sitting outside spinning some new thread. The son looked at her and fell in love. She was so very beautiful. Her long black hair shone in the light. Her dark eyes twinkled with merriment, and her strong fingers worked quickly and well with her spindle and thread. That very moment, the son decided that he must have the young woman for his bride. The son decided that he would turn himself into a hunter and impress the young woman with his strength and prowess at the hunt. Surely, that way, he would win her heart, and they could be wed and live together in great happiness. But there was not much game to be found in the part of the forest where the old man lived with his daughter. So the son thought of a way he might trick the young woman into thinking him a fine hunter. He found the skin of a deer, then filled it with ashes and dry grass, and sewed it up so that it looked like he had caught a fine, fat animal that would feed a family well. Then he put the false deer on his shoulders and strode past the old man's house, where the daughter sat working at her spindle. And so, for many days, the son took the form of a handsome, strong young man. In the morning, he would walk past the old man's house with his bow and arrows, and in the afternoons, he would return with the fake false deer on his shoulders, as though he had just killed it and was going home to cook and eat it. Now, the young woman noticed the young man striding by, although she gave no hint to him that she was looking, for he was indeed well to look upon, with his thick black hair and his warm brown eyes, and his broad shoulders, and his fine, strong legs. Surely he would make a good husband for some lucky woman, as handsome as he was, and as skilled at the hunt, for he never failed to return home with a fat deer. One morning, after the young man had passed by the old man's house, the daughter went to her father and said, "Father, I think that young hunter will make a good husband for me. He is so very handsome, and he always comes home with a fat deer." Said the old man. "I'm not sure of that. There is much game in this part of the forest. No, not that much game at all. He could be tricking you. Young men do that sort of thing sometimes. Next time he goes past, throw some water onto the ground in front of him. That might tell you something about him." That afternoon, the young woman sat in front of the father's house, washing some maize in a bowl full of water. Soon enough, the young hunter came into the view with a deer on his shoulders. Remembering what her father had said, the young woman put the maize into a different bowl and then threw the water onto the ground in the hunter's path. When his foot touched the wet earth, the hunter slipped and fell. He landed right on top of the false deer, splitting the seams and sending a great cloud of ash into the air. The woman saw this and gasped. The son felt very ashamed, because now his trick was made plain before her. So he changed himself into a hummingbird and flew away. But even though his trick with the deerskin had gone awry, the son still was in love with the beautiful young woman, and he could not stay away from her. In the form of a hummingbird, he would go into the old man's garden and flit amongst the flowers there. And in that way, he would watch the young woman at her work. One day, the young woman noticed the hummingbird flying in the garden and sipping nectar. The bird was such a pretty thing, with bright, shining feathers, that she wanted to have it for her own. And she did not know that this little bird was the sun in disguise. The young woman went to her father and said, "Father, will you get your blowgun and catch that hummingbird for me?" "Certainly, my dear," said the old man. And he went out into the garden, and phoop, he blew a shot at the hummingbird and knocked it to the ground, stunned. The young woman ran to pick up the little feathered thing. She cradled it carefully in her hands, then took it into the house, where she put it in her room. That night, while the young woman slept, the son turned himself back into the form of a young man. The young woman woke up and found him standing there in her room. "What are you doing here?" she said. "Who are you? If my father finds you here, he will kill us both." "Have no fear," said the man. "I am the young hunter who tried to trick you with the deer. But you were too clever for me, and I am the hummingbird who drank the nectar from the flowers in your garden. But your father captured me with his blowgun. I saw you sitting in your father's garden many, many days ago, and I fell in love with you. Come away with me and be my wife. We will live together most happily. That I promise you." "Oh," said the young woman, "I should very much like to go with you, but it is not safe. My father has a magic stone in which he can see anything he chooses, both far and near. And he has a magic blowgun that he could use to kill us. We will never be able to get away from him." "Never mind that," said the son. "I will make it safe for us. You will see." Creeping through the house as quietly as two mice, the young man and young woman went to the place where the old man kept his magic stone and his magic blowgun. The son took some ash and poured it all over the stone so that the old man would not be able to see anything in it. Then he took some ground chili powder and put it inside the blowgun. That done, the pair slipped out of the door into the forest. In the morning, the old man woke and called to his daughter, but she did not answer. He went through the house and garden looking for her, but did not find her. Angry that his daughter had ran away, the old man went to the place where he kept his magic stone. He picked it up and tried to see where the young woman had gone, but he could not see through the ash the sun had poured on it. Suddenly, he saw there was one spot where there was no ash, because the sun had not been careful enough in covering the whole stone. In that small spot on the stone, the old man saw his daughter with the young man on the river in a canoe. The old man trembled with rage. How dare his daughter leave with a young man without his permission? He took up his blowgun and went off after the young couple. He put the blowgun to his lips and drew in a breath so that he could take a shot. But instead of air, he breathed in ground chili powder. How the old man coughed, and how his eyes watered, how his throat and mouth burned. The old man was furious. He called to the lightning to go strike down the young man and his daughter. The son and the young woman were in the canoe, paddling as fast as they could to get away from the old man. The son realized that a lightning bolt was coming. "Jump into the water," he said, and then he threw himself into the river, where he turned into a turtle and swam as fast as he could toward the river bottom. The young woman also jumped into the water, where she became a crab, but she couldn't swim as fast as the turtle, so when the lightning bolt struck the water, it hit her. The young woman's blood slowly spread out over the surface of the water. The son swam up from the depths of the river, where he saw the blood of his beloved floating on the surface. The son wept with grief. He called to the dragonflies for help, asking them to collect up the blood for him. The dragonflies did as the son bid them. They collected up all the blood, put it into little bottles, When they were finished, they gave the bottles to the sun, who hid them away in a safe place. After a certain time, the sun returned to the place where he had hidden the bottles. He opened the first one, and a great many snakes came pouring out. He opened the second one, and a cloud of wasps buzzed out of it and into the sky. The sun opened bottle after bottle, and from each one poured a different kind of small creature that then flew or crawled away. And that is how snakes and many kinds of insects came into being in the world. Finally, the sun opened the very last bottle. In that bottle was the young woman, as beautiful as ever, with her long, shining dark hair and merry eyes and skillful fingers. The sun took her hand and drew her up into the heavens with him, where he could gaze on her beauty and where she could delight in his strength. For when she went up with him, she was transformed into the moon. And there in the heavens, the sun and the moon have lived happily as husband and wife ever since.